Hi everyone, this is Lisa from Crafting Cottage. I'm going to show you today how to make this cute little Christmas card from scraps that I have laying around on my craft table. I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz distressed inks, 3 different colors of tumbled glass, faded jeans, and ice spruce. I'm also going to be using the Penny Black's Christmas Cheer Sentiment Stamp Set. It's got a cute little squiggly thing here and wishing you a winter wonderland sentiment. So let's get started. So we're going to start with a 3¼ or 3½ by 11 piece of scrap. Now I usually make cards that are 5 by 5 or 5½ by 5½. So recently I've made some cards that were 5 by 5. So this is the scrap left over from the piece of 8½ by 11 cardstock. So I'm just going to score that at 5½ and fold it down, and that's going to be my card base. So you're going to need a piece of white scrap cardstock, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and that's what we're going to use to make our tag. So this is actually very simple. What we're going to do is I'm going to just take my little corner rounder and I'm going to round my corners at the top, and I am going to get my distressed ink. So I'm going to start with tumbled glass, and there's no real technique to this. I'm not worried about having blotches of ink that's too dark. I'm not worried about my shading at all. I'm just going to apply some ink to my paper in a random way. So that's my tumbled glass, and I'll go with my faded jeans over on this side and just let it go right over, which is just any old way is fine. That's my faded jeans, and now my ice spruce. So I just made this card this morning, and I really didn't know what I was doing with it. I just knew that I wanted to use up some of these scraps, and I thought, well, it might be fun to show you how I go about doing that. So now that I have that all done, I'm going to want to, I have a little, it used to be a candle holder, but it kind of broke, so I use it as my little water reservoir, and I'm just going to take a paintbrush and I'm going to dip it in the water, and I'm going to just tap some spots onto my little tag here, and it's going to, you'll see if you can see, the ink is reacting to the water, and we're having a nice little spotted effect on my tag. So that's good. I didn't use too much water, so it dries pretty quickly. So I have this little winter scene stamp by, it's called Snowy Pine, and it's by Stampabilities. So I'm going to use a nice dark blue archival ink, because it's going to be a little darker than my faded jeans, and I'm going to ink this stamp up, and I'm going to stamp right over my panel. There. So that gives a little bit of a winter scene to it. So once I got here, I thought, well, I wish I had a stencil for a snowflake. I don't have one. Got tons of stencils, but nothing Christmas themed. So I thought, well, you know what? I think I'll just make my own stencil. So I just got another scrap of cardstock, and I punched out one of my snowflake punches, this lovely little snowflake. Now I make my own textured paste, and there's lots of recipes on the internet for it. It's just simply white glue, white paint, and talcum powder, and you mix it all up until it's like a toothpaste consistency, and you just mix it up and you can use it. It smells good because of the talcum powder, and I'll just put that on there, take it off carefully, and there's my first snowflake. You can use it, put another one down here, over and over again. It will end up, you know, getting kind of saturated with your texture paste, so just throw it away when you're finished, no problem. So there we go. And maybe I'll put one more right up here. There. Very simple, inexpensive way to add some texture to your project. So there. Now that we have that, we're going to have to let that dry a bit. So what I'm going to do is set that aside, let it dry, and we'll work on the background, your card base. Fold that over because it has some Boston paste on it. So for this, I'm just going to use that little squiggly bit wherever I put it, and I'm going to go in again with my archival ink, and I'm just going to, oh, there's my phone. Tony will get it. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to stamp randomly kind of on my card base. And another one down here, over here, over here, and then one half off here. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Faded Jeans ink, and I'm just going to ink around the edges. Darken them, and then my tumbled glass, because I don't really care for that stark white, so I'm just going to add some color around it so it's just not so stark white. Now if you don't have these colors, you can always use any different color. For some reason when I'm making Christmas cards, I always reach for blues. So that's our card base all prepared. So we'll go back to our panel, and it's drying nicely. I want to make this darker around the edges, so I'm getting my Faded Jeans again, and I'm just going to ink the edges, darken them up. Hope I don't keep going off camera on you. So that's that. I'm going to grab my little hole punch and aim for the center, but I never get there. Punch a hole. Yeah, not centered, but that's okay. It's homemade. So I have a little piece of ribbon that pointed on the ends, and I'm going to feed it through. Struggle with it to get it through. And just pulling gently because I don't want to tear my cardstock. I got one side a little longer, so we'll just snip that off. So there we have it so far. Okay, so now I have some foam adhesive, and I'm going to line the outside of this with it so that I can mount it on top of my card base. Now, I like to put lots of adhesive on it. I hate it when my projects sag after I put them on the card bases, so yeah, I'm putting quite a bit on. I could have used a bit of a thicker cardstock, and that would have helped, because the distressed ink kind of you know, makes the cardstock wet, and it becomes a little bit more flimsy. We'll take all that off. I'm such a messy crafter. I got everything everywhere here. Okay, so I'm just going to simply put that in the center. Pat it down so it's coming along pretty good. Now I'm going to use this sentiment, wishing you a winter wonderland. I'm going to stamp that in my archival ink. And I have a Martha Stewart punch here that I'm just going to use to punch it out. I like this stamp seems to be like made for this punch. Perfect. Now there it is. Now I find that that is too stark white, so I'm going to add some ink to it to tone it down. And some faded jeans around the edge so that it kind of matches what I did on the card base and the little tag. So I'm going to pop that up. Then I'm going to add some embellishments, like the bling and the stickles. Love that stuff. So I'm just going to place that on there like that. And I'm going to come in with some gems. I have some little rhinestones, come from our dollar store, and a little craft knife. So really, just wherever you think you'd like to have you know, embellished. I like Christmas cards blue. Oh, come on, not cooperating. There we go. So I'm just putting them on my snowflakes. And I really like these little rhinestones because they come in different sizes, so you don't have to use the same size on everything. So they have little tiny ones here, a little bit harder to grab, but I'm just going to put them on my card base as well. If I can get them off. I had no problem with them earlier, but and just about finished, I think. So there we go. Nice little sparkle on it. And the last thing I did was I came in with my stickles, and these are Stardust stickles, and I just spread a little around on my scene. Getting low here. And it just gives it a shimmery effect, which is really nice. And like, no, don't worry about it, doesn't have to be fussy. And I just kind of drag some around the edge of the little sentiment to give it a nice finish. So there you have it. Oh, I forgot a few little gems on here, a couple of them. So there. So that's a quick and easy little Christmas card that you can make using your scraps. I hate wasting cardstock. It really only took about 10 minutes to make. Very simple. You can use any stamp, Christmas stamp that you like. So that's it. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. This is my second video. And I'll put your name in a draw to win this Christmas card. Thank you. Have a great day.